Jason, we met about 1 year ago, slightly more than that, and you were French SEO. And it took me a year to eventually find out that you're not French. You're 100% British, English, should I say.
Yeah.
How is it possible?
Born to English parents, English sisters, brought up in the UK in Leeds, moved to Liverpool to do my studies. It's much cooler to say Liverpool than it is to say Leeds. But ended up living in France after kind of lots of adventures along the way. And I wasn't French at the time, but in fact now I am.
So you are French more than English now, or what?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think deep down in my soul, because I was born there and brought up there, I still remain English, but because of Brexit, I wanted to be French so I could remain European. So it's not so much I want to be French, it's more I want to remain European and have that freedom to stay in Europe. For me, Europe's a big kind of family with all my brothers and sisters, and I think that's really, really, really great. So I'm French because I wanted to stay in Europe, but I'm also French because I've been living there for such a long time. My ex-wife is French and my daughter's French-English. I would say 50-50, I think that would be a fair assessment.
Okay. When we met, you used to live in the south of France. You had a house, so I don't know, what you rented an apartment, something, and now you. Well, I don't want to say, but now you're homeless. What happened to you?
I had a really nice flat. I was renting it in the south of France with a big garage underneath where we used to have big parties. I used to play gigs down there. We'd get the double bass and the guitar out and we'd have a sing-song with 60 or 70 people in the garage. That was brilliant. And then one day, I separated from my wife. My daughter went off to university and I thought, why am I here? Not why am I here on Earth, which would be a very big philosophical question that I don't have the answer to. Why am I in this village? And the answer was I was in this village, or I was living in that village because other people needed me to be there at that time. And then all of a sudden, nobody needed me to be there. My clients didn't need me to be there. My wife had gone, my daughter was off at university. And I thought, where do I want to live? And the answer was, I've got absolutely no idea. I didn't have any particular positive idea of where I wanted to be. So I thought, I'll pack it all up, stick all my belongings in a storage space, buy a plane ticket, organise some conferences and set off around the world living in hotel rooms.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. It's called digital nomad, is it?
Digital nomad. And digital nomad, a lot of people think, it's travelling around, but you've still got a flat somewhere. And in this case, it's travelling around and I don't have a flat anywhere. So I basically go to conferences, get hotel rooms, stay in a hotel room for 4 or 5 days.
We'll get back to you.
Oh, sorry.
No,
my living
fine.
arrangements.
No living arrangement, your business arrangement, if we can say. So a year ago, you were French SEO, living in the south of France and doing basically French stuff. What happened? What happened? Why are all these changes? What happened a year ago?
Well, in fact, up until last year, I was working really, really, really hard to pay off a lot of debts for various reasons. So I couldn't stick my neck out. I had to keep working, keep my clients, make sure I was making the money so that I could sort out my financial situation. And then about a year ago, it kind of cleared up. And at the time, my clients were all French. And that's still the case today. But the problem with the French market in digital marketing is it isn't perhaps as advanced as the American or the UK or even the German market. So I kind of thought I'd like to go out and learn from the best. And the best, unfortunately, aren't in France. They're in the US, in the UK, in Germany, Denmark, even in Italy. So actually going out there and speaking in English to people who've really, really dug into the topic. And it's been absolutely brilliant.
So in order to learn from others, you launch a epic series of webinars, 15 of 16 webinars, one a week, with 3 experts, all together, I don't know, 40-something experts. So it's an interesting idea how you learn from people. You get them in your own webinar room.
Yeah, well, you, Anton, gave me the opportunity to do it and said, we can set this up. And it was ambitious, and you were brave enough to say, I trust you to get through to the end of these episodes. And we did get through to the end of it. Craig Campbell and Dawn Anderson were the first people to jump on board and say, yeah, we'll do it. And so that support kind of got the 45 guests over 15 weeks. And initially, that was for me, that was really interesting. I was thinking, I've got this great theory about AEO. and I was going, answer engine optimization, isn't that brilliant? Aren't I a genius? I know so much about it, I can fill up 15 episodes. And after the first 2 episodes, I realized 2 things, one of which I don't know enough to fill up 15 episodes. And all of these experts know loads more about me. All of these experts know loads more than me about a specific subject. And it's pointless me talking about the little I know. It's much better asking them what they know. So I turned from being this kind of presenter of my ideas who was just trying to get people to agree with me to a host where I was pulling ideas out of other people and pulling information out of other people and then trying to bring it all together to make sense to everybody else. So it's taking these specialists, bringing the information in and using that specialist knowledge to make an approach that people can really relate to, that makes sense to them without digging too deep into all the individual information. And the other nice thing was Dawn Anderson, one of the first things she said was, you know, Jason, it's not answer engine optimization, it's assistive optimization. I was saying, you know, lucky it starts with an A because then it's still AEO. And she said, if it hadn't been, I wouldn't have burnt your boat and said it. And she was lovely about that. That was brilliant.
Talking about the concept, answer engine optimization, it didn't really work, did it? I mean, it worked for you. It put you on the map. Now everyone knows you, and everyone respects you because, but not because of this concept.
No, that's an interesting point. Answer engine optimization hasn't really taken off as I kind of hoped. I think I was being a bit ambitious and probably naive. Assistive engine optimization for me makes lots more sense. And I was talking to Jono Alderson a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about solution optimization, and that makes even more sense. The idea that as digital marketers and as people selling things online, we're bringing solutions to people. So we're not having content strategies, we've got solution strategies. What my content does not have a raison d'être in French on its own. Its reason for existing is to bring a solution to a potential client or a client. So we're looking at solution optimization from our point of view. And Google's looking to bring those solutions to its users, to the problems that its users are expressing. And I really like that.
You call yourself SEO. You're not really technical SEO. From my point of view, I think you're kind of search engine philosopher.
Yeah.
if I may say so.
You may, and that tickles me. I think that's great. That's a really nice way of saying it. I honestly get pretty bored of the nitty-gritty details of it all. I have done some technical SEO. I'm reasonably good at it. I don't think I'm as good as somebody like Elena Solis or maybe Chris Simmons. And I just get really bored of that kind of repetitive stuff very quickly. I really like the idea that we need to change our points of view to actually really get to what we're doing. And for what I'm now doing is consulting, this kind of philosophical consulting maybe even. It's saying, here's your strategy. What elements do you have? What human elements and what practical elements do you have to actually be able to put this in place? And what can we best leverage? What's the path of least resistance for you? And what's the most appropriate path for you to bring these solutions to your clients and to your potential clients?
You can call yourself, or we can call yourself philosopher, search engine philosopher, but if you want to sell it, you have to use the word strategist.
Brilliant. Yeah, you see, that's where my naivety comes to the fore. I would go with philosopher and I would never sell it, not make the money. So you're right, I'm a search engine strategist or even a solutions engine strategist, assess.
What are you doing right now? What exactly? I understand it's not exactly about answer engine optimization. What it is now? Something strange, as usual.
Yeah, well, what I'm doing now, I'm into this philosophy thing. I'm into assistive engine optimization. I'm into solution engine optimization.
Anything in particular?
Knowledge graphs. I love knowledge graphs. My pet theory.
Brand surf?
Maybe. That was a really crap answer, wasn't it? I'll cut that. I'll do a what's it? So this is a cutout, and I'll wave to myself right now. Yeah, I've been getting really into brand. I started looking at brand SERPs for a client And I was looking at them for myself already. I was trying to control what came up when you search my name. Not because I'm completely obsessed by myself, but because I was intrigued at how it would work. And after 5 years now, when you search my name, even though there are 250 Jason Barnards in the world, I'm the one that comes up because Google's confident it's understood. And I've got a result that gives across the personal brand message I would like to give across. It informs people about my past life, informs people about my present life with very rich media, videos and images and the knowledge graph. And that is really, really powerful. So I've now been applying it to my clients who are getting these rich elements in their SERPs and getting their SERPs to represent their brand, both their brand message, but also the positive message they want to give across, to make sure that their clients and their potential clients get the right message when they search for the brand name. And you rightly pointed out, it's not, I tended to concentrate on potential clients, but an awful lot of these searches are navigational searches of existing clients, and making sure that those existing clients remain convinced that we are professional. The message is, it remains focused and intelligent, reassures them and makes sure they stick with us, which is, I think, retention. I was talking to somebody the other day, they're saying retention's the most important thing now. And so that brand retention, the customer retention through a very, very reassuring brand SERP systematically when they make that navigational search, I think is more important than we realize.
Yeah, it would be interesting in a year from now what you will be up to. Hopefully we can make another interview in a year from now.
Yeah.
2020. So,
yeah, we'll find a new city somewhere in the world when the sun is shining with a different background to do another interview.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Anton.
Cheers.